Joshua Sarge here. Wanted to go ahead and share something with you to make sure that you are on top of this regarding meta ads and setting up any sort of campaign for your business. If you run a service business and you want to start running meta ads, or you already are running meta ads, I want to share something with you to make sure that you're actually getting the results that you want. See, here's the thing. When you tell Meta and their algorithms what you want, for example, say you're setting up a campaign and you want to get leads, right? And you tell Meta that you want to get leads, you are going to get leads. In fact, the algorithm works so well that it will do everything that it can to get you as inexpensive leads as possible. But here's the thing. That's not always a good thing. Obviously, you don't want to pay more than you need to for leads or for sales, or you want to get as good a return as possible. But here's something that I want to talk about that Meta is really pushing right now. Again, they have taken technology, AI, and it works so very well that basically they are saying you need to worry less about setting things up. It used to be that there was a lot of work that was put in regarding targeting and putting it in front of the right people, the ads in front of the right people in the right areas and all these different things. But they are basically saying, hey, our algorithm is so good that you don't have to set anything, like just put it in there, set it and forget it. We'll take care of the rest. But here's the thing. Whether you're a local business or you're running something online, you have to really be careful that to make sure that you're getting things, in the correct people's eyesight, right? You're putting your ads in front of the right people. So, like I said, you want to make sure that yes, you want inexpensive leads, but you want it to be accurate. You want it to be right. You want it to be, whatever price you're going to pay for leads, you want it to be in front of the right people, right? So what Meta will sometimes do is push what they call, and again, like there's been a hard push for it lately. We've really seen over the past few weeks, past month especially, where even without warning, even without you selecting stuff, and just so you know, Meta will many times adjust things without you knowing. Right? There are many times where, and this is why it's so very important if you are running ads to be on top of it, or if you are having someone do it for you, make sure that they're on top of it, because some people aren't, and some people go months without checking on stuff. But there are times where Meta will update something, change something regarding the settings of your ad campaigns without making sure that you're cool with it, and then you'll get notifications saying like your ad was published and it was accepted, and like, well, I didn't even change anything. What happened, right? So there is something that they have been pushing called the audience network. All right, and what the audience network is from the standpoint of setting up an ad campaign and running ads. Here's the thing: there are ad campaigns. And you can even see it here. There's campaigns, there's ad sets, and there's ads. So a campaign is made up of ad sets, and ad sets are made up of ads, and the ads are what people actually see, right? Whether it's video or an image or a carousel of multiple images is beside the point. But the ad set is where you are determining who is seeing it, where it's being placed, that sort of thing. So, and I'm just going to use, obviously the details here are blurred out, but I'm just going to use one of these accounts. These are real accounts, and you can see, how much people are paying for, different leads and things like that. But if I go in here and select this ad set and scroll down, right, we're saying that we want to maximize the number of leads because I can determine quality. I don't necessarily want the algorithm to always determine the quality. As I said, I can filter things to make sure the quality is high and whatnot. But we set a budget and you set like an area, a location. But here's the thing: what their algorithm is doing, and I'm sharing this to make sure you understand. If you are running ads, you can check on this. What we have been seeing for some of our clients is because Meta is pushing this, that the cost of leads, even though I pride myself in being able to get leads at a great value, great quality, great value, so that businesses can win. But here's the thing: if lead costs are dropping really fast, and this is like a bunch of different people experiencing this, we got to ask why. What is happening? Did like the population in a specific area in a city just double or triple overnight? Now there's so many more people. Like, no. So what Meta was doing is changing the placements of where the ads were going, and they even have it hidden. So you have to hit show more settings, devices, all, that's fine, different phones, different platforms that way. But then when we look at the platforms themselves, what they were actually doing, so we have this on Facebook and Instagram, they were throwing the majority of stuff on the audience network. Now, you may not think much of it, like, okay, cool, that sounds fine, because then more people are going to see it, whatever the audience network is. Basically, what the audience network is third-party apps and platforms that are partnered with Meta, and what it ends up being is a lot of very, very low level clicks and promotions and things like that, where sometimes people are even filling a form out without actually filling it out. It's just using their saved information. They click on stuff, and maybe they're getting something in exchange for it on some other platform. Hey, get this discount if you put in your info, like all sorts of craziness stuff. But what ends up happening is, even though we have this set to run in specific areas, it's negating all of that. So it could be people in different states clicking on things and you getting their information. And then, so basically it's like a lot more people are inputting their information. Some of them don't even know they're doing it. And then as a business, you're getting leads and people contacts and all that. And the algorithm is saying, look, we're getting you cheap leads. You're welcome. But in truth, what is happening is you're getting a bunch of leads that you don't even know why they're coming in, because you have these filters in place, but Meta's algorithm is going past it. So make sure, key point, make sure if you are running ads, or if you're going to start running ads, make sure you are probably more than likely unchecking that. And I would even say, if you're running, an online business from the standpoint of, nationwide, or maybe it's anywhere that speaks English, and you're running ads in Europe and things like that, like Canada. Okay, if you are doing that, depending on what you're offering, you may also want to turn off the audience network for that too. Because, like I said, if cheap leads are the only thing that matter, then obviously leave it on. But however, if cheap is coming about from the standpoint of quality, then you may want to turn them off. But if you only sell low ticket stuff, the people that come from the audience network are typically lower level, lower income sort of people. It's lower intent. We talk about, buyer intent. Like, some of them don't even know that they're filling things out. So like, you can get a ton of leads, but it may end up being wasted. So you want to make sure that is turned off most of the time. I would say definitely if it's local, if you're running, like I said, you're a service business, you have a service area. And I will say this: as soon as that is turned off, you'll notice a difference. If you are struggling with any sort of lead quality, obviously, if you've been struggling with lead quality for a long time, there are probably some other changes you need to fix. But like I said, like, we've definitely noticed a huge push where they're turning this on without even letting you know over the past few weeks. So definitely fix that. And then, like I said, just make sure, if you are going to run ads, many times it's not, especially with all the updates and the algorithms. It used to be like, hey, set from the standpoint of your ad set your location, set your placement. Many times it's very, very, especially if it's online, just set it and forget it. With all the changes that they make all the time now, you really need to be hands-on with this. So I wanted to share that. Hopefully that can add value if that is you, if you are running ads, because if you're going to put money into something, you definitely want a return on the investment.